didn't do it, did it? Or did do it?
Yeah, it's going.
It's going.
It's going.
So I must have pushed the right button. There's like several buttons to push, and I'm like, why does it take so many to start it?
Hello, I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my channel somewhere else on YouTube. Tonight, we're with Buff Del Campo on the Buff Del Campo channel. We're in the shop. It's Friday. After the No Name Nationals, did you watch John Wilburn? Were you watching Tony's Hot Rod Garage? Well, now you're here with the late night cleanup crew. We took last night off.
That's what we are, the cleanup crew.
Cleanup crew.
You know, we should do that. We should have brooms and mops, and we're the cleanup.
We do have those things. All right, that should be our logo, is cleanup.
Cleanup crew.
We are the cleanup crew.
Twisted
Mopar Garage. Welcome to the stream. I think you're first. You get all the...
He wins.
Yes, you win. You win the day.
Oh, JB.
Howdy, howdy, JB. So, it has been a eventful past week. This time last week, we were in Sikeston, Missouri for our major car event of the year, and that went great. We had a little bit of we had a minor accident.
Minor accident.
He's been having...
You ever go backwards through a, what's that thing called?
A
cable barrier at 70 miles an hour.
Bruce Colchin, welcome.
Goes on forever. It's like it never stopped. It was just gravel and dust flying forever.
Lester LeSabre is here. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome.
This is great. A lot of our regulars are showing.
Yeah, it's good.
We appreciate you. We really do.
I was afraid with all these other lives that we'd come in late and everybody be falling asleep. But it looks like you're here. Good to see you.
We appreciate you coming to check us out. I'm finishing my introduction. So this is Buff Del Campo. We're the cleanup crew, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you have made it here for our live stream. And for live streams in the shop, sometimes we get a little distracted working on things, and that's okay. And you're allowed to talk amongst yourselves. We don't have a lot of moderators, so you guys, keep a lid on some of that wildness. But entertain yourself as you please. It is a community stream, so you're welcome to shout out if you have some content or a channel or something like that going on. We invite that. We don't do the green screen in the shop because we just don't have the computer power to make that happen. But on Tuesday nights, we do a live earlier in the evening. Twisted Mopar, the bed is calling. I understand. We took a long nap this afternoon, both of us, because we're still trying to recover.
I was whooped. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that came out of that accident isn't on purpose. The only thing that came out of that is I'm having a little bit of a hard time sleeping. And I don't know why. I guess I always do, but it's made it a little worse. So I'd take naps in the afternoon. That helps. That makes a big difference.
We really enjoy our regular live streams. KJ Kylie, welcome to the stream. She says, "Hi Kim and Buff," or "Hi Kim, hi Buff." So, since this is a live stream, if you're watching after the fact, we will be welcoming people as they come into the stream, acknowledging their comments and questions, and saying goodnight as people have to leave. We probably will stream for maybe a couple of hours. We don't have a specific plan. Has become such a regular habit of us. It feels strange not to plan to do it. And we always have plenty of work to do. So,
People remember what I say.
Does that make Buff this week? Maybe.
Sweeper boy. Yeah, that's the crazy Norwegian I work for.
I'm not the sweeper boy.
He would say it with a Norwegian accent.
It's it.
Sweeper boy. Sweeper boy. What you doing?
Something was flying. I hope it wasn't a mosquito.
No,
if it was,
mosquitoes.
they'll come back.
Mosquitoes.
So, the engine in the Dart is now in line for engine out maintenance. And in order to keep things flowing, we have another motor, and we are going to prep it, and then we are just going to do a swap. Or at least that's the hope.
You want to talk about that engine what you found when you took it apart and what you see on the side of it and so forth?
I think so, but I was going to give the stream a couple minutes to
Okay.
get going.
All right. Okay.
So we can welcome people and talk about if other people want to talk about other things.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Twisted Mopar brought it up.
Brought it up already. Yeah.
You could see way in the distance there is an engine sitting back there in the
It's on the edge
distance,
of the edge of the
right
engine stand.
there on the edge of the screen is a engine that has been liberated. It has the cylinder head is right here, and the intake and exhaust manifold has been removed, and we pressure washed it pretty as well as thoroughly as we could.
We pressure washed it. That means I went over the other oven cleaner and sprayed some on it. And Kim went over there for like an hour shooting water and getting soaked in grease. She did all the work.
No, we worked together. Because you were unloading the Jeep.
Well,
He
but
unloaded the Jeep. The Jeep was packed to the ceiling with all the stuff from 2 cars. And he unloaded it onto a table, and then from the table into the toolboxes and back to the house. And he was busy the whole time.
You were working on the engine.
Yeah, I had to do was pressure wash while he was sorting everything out.
The stuff I would have taken out of my Mazda, I had to go up to Paducah, Kentucky, which is like an hour away or so, or maybe more. And I took the Jeep up there, the Jeep Patriot, and I filled it. I mean, I filled that Jeep with all the stuff.
I thought I had got a lot of stuff out of the car, but it was still a whole load.
I really
but you had, the night before, you had gotten a bunch of stuff out of Dr. Go's car.
But I unloaded that.
Before you went up there?
Mm-hmm.
Holy man, that's a lot of stuff. We need to learn how to pack a little lighter.
Well,
we'd probably get better gas mileage.
You know how it is when you're traveling to an event where you're going to work on a car. And when you were working on the Dart, you were going, I need this, I need this, I need this. And I was handing it to you. And I think you had everything you needed.
Twisted Mopar. Oh, I want to welcome Tim72 Damon. Welcome to the stream. Says, glad you are both home and recovering. I luckily was not in the accident, so my recovery is just from the stress and the exertion, the sun, the heat, the running around and talking to everybody. It's exhausting, but he took a pretty good ride in that accident on the way home. I'm surprised. I thought the next day that I would have to peel him out of bed. But he got up on his own, and he's been crunching around, complaining about his neck and stuff like that, and his eyes are feeling a little bit irritated, but I think he's doing pretty well. Twisted Mopar Garage says we still have a delay in our voice, and I haven't figured out exactly where it's coming from yet. It's somewhere
there's an adjustment you can make, and you made it.
Yeah, but in the past, it was not the same, depending on who was watching. I'm not even sure where it's
I did buy a 64 Dart. 6 4-speed.
Did you really? A 64 Dart with a 4-speed? That's not an original.
Somebody put it in there.
Oh man, where are they at? I want to buy that. That's the car I want. All right, I'm gonna see.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, sorry, we lost a little bit of.
Tavo here, but not for long. But we understand that you probably got a lunch break or something. Lunch break or dinner break or whatever you call it down under. Man, now your days are starting to get longer and ours are getting shorter. You got an original 4-speed
slant 6 car.
Wow.
That seems very unlikely.
That's very unusual. I didn't know they did that.
64?
I didn't know they did that.
Well, did you decode the VIN, or did they just tell you that? Because that's a rarity.
Yeah, well,
Tavo,
it wouldn't be a 4-speed up here, and that stuff would be there. So yeah, last year I did get my videos because last year I didn't get many videos because I was busy going around talking to we had problems doing videos there. The speaker, the noise, and when they didn't have the announcer talking, they were putting music in, which you can't video over the music because it's all copyrighted. So yeah, we struggle with that a little bit. Junk Car Willie. Yeah, I'm sort of okay. I'm basically I'm okay. There's some crackly business in my neck, but it's getting better. Um, yes, it's supposed to be a factory 4-speed. That's amazing.
We'll see you later, Junk Car Willie.
What?
Come back when you can. I think he must have something to do. We'll be here a little bit.
Okay. I missed that part.
Showed to be a factory 4-speed. Wow, that's really cool. A 4-speed with the little motor is pretty nice. Better gas mileage and stuff like that. I've looked at them, but you know, like $1,000 for a 4-speed, and it's like, ooh, maybe next year.
Already blowing a mad gale out there in Australia.
We're getting the rain from our hurricane, but luckily it was way to the east.
The hurricane came by here kind of to the east of us, but by the time it hits landfall, the wind just knocks the wind down, so there's no wind really. But it's raining. I did get it to run off a jug. Oh, okay.
Oh, you're just getting it running. Okay, cool. I hope you're taking some video. Love to see it.
Jeff, 2 hacks. Good evening.
Welcome to the stream, Jeff.
Oh,
Tavo,
yeah, I don't know.
Retracted something.
Something he said.
How dare you?
Um,
Tavo, get your stuff done. Batten down the hatches for whatever weather. I'll have to look at the radar tonight and see what's happening over on your side of the planet.
Yeah.
I had to vacuum up the floor over there. There was a big puddle. When the wind comes from the correct direction, it blows water in the one window that we have boarded up, and
that would be the incorrect direction.
The incorrect direction. The opposite of normal.
Jeff from 2 hacks. I want to say something. You know, there were times I wanted to go over there and just chat with you, but anytime I was over there, you were a pretty busy guy, and you were working on your car, and I kind of just left you alone. So I was purposely ignoring you because you don't need
just
somebody
giving you space.
You don't need somebody yapping at you when you're busy with problems with a car, you know. So I was there, and thank you for the carburetors, all that stuff. Man, it was in that box you gave me, and it rode through the crash, and it was fine. It didn't hurt it at all. I didn't know I was hurt until some time went by. I crawled out of that car with the help of Kim and some woman that stopped, and I didn't feel like I got jostled around that badly, but I guess I did. Well, I'm done with work for the day, so just got this Tavo. Done with work for the day, so just got to get out and do some prep work, secure stuff. You know the drill. Wow, you do have something coming through. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow here in Cincinnati. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of going by us and going up toward you. The dragster's a lot of work. It's completely taken apart at the moment. Oh man. You know, I watched you put it together over months. It looks like a simple car, you know, but there's a lot to it. You know.
Yeah, Twisted Mopar Garage. If you want to help people out at the track, you know, you get there kind of early and you talk around and you tell people, is there anything you need in the way of pit crew people? And like, I noticed that Travis's Mopar Garage, he didn't have anybody filming for him. And I didn't know that. He didn't ask anybody to film for him, and now he's asking if anybody has footage. But, it's hard. It's a lot of work to link that up. But, you know, just try and find yourself somebody, just almost ahead of time. You got to figure that stuff out.
2 hacks. He's a real joker. When he is, oh, get out here. My hair is a mess. I got to see that.
My hair is a mess. Uh-huh.
And
it blew the flames out on the side of my car.
For those of you who don't know Jeff, there's maybe a little wispy hair up there. He's missing most of his hair.
He is boldly Not a hairy person.
Wears a hat. Let's put
We
it that
love
way.
Jeff.
The guy wears a hat.
Or a helmet.
Or a helmet.
He wears the Super Dave helmet. I love it.
A Super Dave helmet.
Wasn't it a Super Dave?
Oh, I don't know.
Stars and stripes and stuff.
Super Dave was one of my favorites.
Yeah, that dragster was amazing. I can't wait to see it go once it's like sorted. And I think it was super cool that you brought it to No Name Nationals to, you know, inaugurate it to the track. I'm sorry for Tim. I didn't really respond to your comment earlier, and now it's already gone. But, oh, you were saying how it's difficult to record at the track. And as soon as you start talking to somebody at the track, you know, you're like, hey, how you doing today? All the noises happen. A car goes blaring, or the announcer starts talking. It's very difficult to even just have a conversation. But to record like an interview or a conversation with somebody, and then it becomes a huge editing work. And I know that all the stuff that I recorded up to and including No Name Nationals, I'm going to have to do voiceovers on a lot of it because it's very difficult to tell a coherent story.
Kim had to sit down with me today talking to me about
how much work he has to do.
How we're going to have to do voiceovers on this stuff. And it's like, I'm going to have to learn how to do that and make it interesting. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay.
I'll just put you in the studio with the video behind you, and you'll be able to see it, and you'll just be able to tell the camera what's going on, and then I'll just superimpose you on the video and put it out like that.
Yeah, Bob Einstein, is Super Dave. He died young. It's sad. Yeah, and he was a funny guy. The first time I saw him, I think he got run over by a bus or something. And I wasn't expecting it. It was hilarious, you know. And then I still watch him because there's a lot of it on YouTube. A little of it goes a long way. So I'll watch him and then I'll come back a couple of months later and watch him again. It's good stuff. It's crazy. I mean, he got his act down to something that was really funny. It's good stuff.
I'm so far away for most people. Well, it is really difficult when you're at a distance. But, I mean, once you get to the event, people are very accommodating, and I don't think anybody wants anyone to feel like an outsider. It's no one's intention, but sometimes when we get real busy, it's hard to have all the conversations and interactions that you want to.
We got there late on Wednesday. We went straight to the hotel. We got into the event on Thursday, which is a tech day, work on your car day, get set up day, and Kim spent the entire day under the car.
Yeah, that was
pulling parts out, because we had a main seal leak, and it got worse going over there. I think it did.
I have my suspicions.
She doesn't think it did.
I think that I plugged the. I don't know. I think I messed up and made it worse.
So she spent the whole day under the car, and then she was going to go under there on Friday and pull the pan, drop the pan down, and do a rear main seal. I'm going, wait a minute, you know, you got steering linkage in the way, you got a cross member, we don't have a way to lift the engine up. You're going to spend the entire event under the car. You're going to be worn out. She can't work for more than 3 or 4 hours, and she's beat. So I talked her into just forgetting it. Let's just enjoy the event. Go talk to people, help somebody else. The car made it there. Right then, it was good to drive home. We knew we'd have to add some oil, but we'd drive it home. And that's what we did.
And we did. It drove home.
Not only it drove home, it drove to where my crash was, and then went to the hospital, which is the wrong direction, back the other way. And then we loaded stuff in it, and we both drove home in the Dart. So the Dart did fine. We had to add some oil, but...
We added a lot of oil. I think it was 4 quarts of oil getting home, but we made it.
The oil's still clean.
The oil is nice and clean, but it's leaking out way too fast.
And then we put that Lucas in it, which I think some people didn't like that, but... You know, we were trying to, viscosity improver, trying to make it So maybe a little less would leak out the.
It's probably a bad idea to put a lot of Lucas stuff in your engine, but we were just trying to slow things down. So
well, that
we
engine,
didn't know what was going on. We thought it might really help, but it didn't.
It didn't help much, but
No.
now we've got this other engine here. Kim, tell them about this engine.
This engine came out of a '67 Barracuda. It's got a reman tag on it. That looks like it's an older reman, but it's got 40 over pistons, and we confirmed that with the stamping on the piston. And I think it's got 10 under mains and 20 under rods, something like that, according to the reman tag. And we pulled it apart, and it was very varnished up, like gummed up with varnish. You can kind of see it around this one valve. Did you see the part where the varnish was? The shiny varnish?
I did.
All the intake ports were like...
It's got this shiny, gooey stuff in it.
And when I pressure washed it, it all came out of the cylinder heads, or out of the combustion chambers, sort of. So you could see now, you could see the valves. They're all pretty even, actually, in their... But before, it was really carboned up. Anyways, I was told that it was a running engine, but it couldn't have been running very well because of how gummed up it was. Like the spark plugs were all gummed up and carboned up.
Well, it had a brand new carburetor on it.
It did have a brand new carburetor.
So somebody's having enough trouble, they put a carburetor on it.
And a brand new fuel pump on it. So they were chasing fuel system problems for sure. And I think that with a refresh, maybe a light port job, spin the valves a little bit, and a new head gasket, front rear main seal, the works. But no machine work, I think. I think will be no machine work. We'll freshen this up, and then we will swap it out 1 for 1 for the motor that's in the Dart, and then the Dart will be back on the road better than it has been in a long time. Because upon discovery, while I'm laying underneath the Dart at the track, it became very obvious that there had been a pretty bad rear main seal leak for a really long time, and it was puking out everywhere and just making a mess.
We bought Mexican Spec. Good evening. Hey, it's good to have you here. We bought Depends, for old people, but we were going to put it under an old car, try to get the drip so we could go out on the track, but it was way beyond what Depends were going to hold. So, we didn't do that. She used some of them for wiping up, I guess. But it was a big sloppy mess. But, and this engine, the cylinder's in really good condition. The tone marks are still there. There's no ridge. So, I think we'll be good on this. This engine will probably be a nice engine when we're done. And who was it said put a turbo on it. We have a turbo. I guess it could go on this. I plan on putting it on the Valiant, but it could go on this one. I don't know.
We could do a turbo. It's something to consider. We have a turbo. It could go on either one of the motors, so that would be neat. 2Hex says, can't you deck that block on the slant quite a bit for more compression?
And we had that discussion.
You can take 1/10 off the block and 1/10 off the head through separate operations. So 2/10 to give it more squeeze. But that's an expense, machining expense,
Well, it's a machining expense, and the valve train all ends up the geometry.
It does mess with the valve train geometry a little bit.
You got to fix that. And what we're really trying to do is
rods.
We're trying to make a good, reliable engine that'll get us by for a while. And I don't think.
Yeah, this is more of a drive it around motor so that we can continue to enjoy the car, and then we will have the motor that comes out of the car to probably send for more elaborate machine work over the winter or next season, however we figure out to do it. Because this will get that car back in the road right away, whereas is it now, you can't drive it at all. It just leaks too damn much oil. So this one's ready to go without machine work. I think it's a good solution. And the other block, we can tell by the way it has blow by, it's probably going to need board.
Well, that other block, that thing's got like 100 70 or 80,000 miles on it, whatever it was when the speedometer quit.
We have no idea.
And
you can tell it's going to need board.
Worn out.
It's going to need pistons and stuff. So
but
we'll send it out for machine work.
Drove right there and back like an old engine.
It ran great on the highway, 70 miles an hour. It didn't miss a beat. It was a champ. It really was great.
Her speedometer didn't work, so she was behind me a little ways, and I was in the Mazda at least, 3/4 of the way, and I'd call out to her once in a while, how you doing? Fine. I can go faster, okay, and I speed them at 70. I had my cruise set on 70, and she just stayed right with me. She goes, it's fine.
Oh.
And actually, I thought with the rear end gear she has that it'd be humming along too fast.
No, I had lots of upside. I could have gone 85 and it would have been fine.
She was real comfortable with it.
It was happy. It loved it. And so that's the good thing about that is we got to test the rear end. We got to test the transmission. The clutch was fine. The fuel system worked great. The carburetor, the electrical systems, everything was working properly. That's a good place to start on a project. If you just needed to put a new long block in it, everything else works.
See, Mexican Specs got me curious now because what happened is this came up. Instead, I fell asleep and I never looked at it. It was his post, and he's talking about a Volkswagen. But it came up? A red Chevy truck.
Oh,
so
Chevy.
So I don't know. I'm pushing a like on that.
Guys, I'm going to make noises. You're not going to hear anything, but it's going to duck the sound. I have to mark all these pistons, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so that I can put the valves back in. So it's going to take me a minute. I'm sorry.
38 Racing. 38 Racing. 38 Racing. That's somebody new. Hello, how you doing? Is that somebody new, Kim?
Is it 38 POS?
No, it says 38 Racing. That's who I thought it was at first, but... So Kim is, I think she's... Oh, yeah, it goes... Oh, Kim, this is weird. It goes like this. It goes... And then when you lift the hammer up, it goes clack. It is off. Oh, you dropped the POS. So it is... It is 38. Well, excellent. Now we know who you are. The POS. Yeah, it should be 38. Piece of good stuff. That's a great car. And then, yeah, I like 38 Racing. That's pretty good. It's still you. Excellent. And I guess we told you your side marker lights made the trip just fine. Oh man, talk about a ride! I just have nightmares about that ride, man. Beetle I posted today is one of 1,000 jeans model with jean type material on the seats. Oh, like a Gremlin.
Okay, hold on. That's it.
So I'll have to look at your, get caught up on your stuff, Mexican Spec. We've talked about replacing the Mazda, and I said, well, let's just go look at Mexican Spec stuff. But, I really need I don't know if I even need it. We got the Jeep, and I still have my van. My van runs great. I just got to put insurance back on it and start driving it again. But, I thought about buying an older car again, but then it's likely to be a project, not just a late model car with air conditioning that drives down the road. So I don't know.
We have to see. We haven't even got an offer.
We have enough vehicles that we're not going to be in trouble, and it's going to mean the Valiant's going to get more effort put on it, because I'm already thinking about things I'm going to do to the Valiant that I was already thinking about. Like rebuilding the other half of the front end and putting shocks on it because the back shocks are bad, and maybe buying a set of tires, good tires for it. So, the Valiant may end up being my daily driver. So I already have a car that I could daily drive. So I don't know. We got time to think about it. I'm not in a hurry. And at first I was kind of in a hurry, and then Kim's like talking some sense into me. Don't be in a hurry. Just settle down. You don't need a car tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, he's not used to being home so much.
Well, and then, well, yeah, and she says that because I was on the road a lot. And my old, what's this? Left that 93 Chevy Silverado, which is our two-door Tahoe. Tomorrow I post another red one, but 97 two-wheel drive. Yeah, I don't want an SUV or a truck. Kim's got a truck that I could actually clean it up and use it. Or I could build some. No, not that one. The one you put the carburetor on.
Oh yeah, that little mini truck.
What is that thing? Dakota.
It's a Dakota, yeah.
Chris, 103 Customs. It's at a slant 6 block. The block is behind her over there on the engine stand. This is the head off of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she covered all that, but I'll go over it quickly again. The engine in the Dart that we drove over there to No Name Nationals, it runs fine, but it leaks oil like a sieve. The rear main seal we use like 4 quarts oil coming home.
Yeah.
But it runs great. But it's time to pull it out. She bought this engine. It came out of a 67 Barracuda. Yep. But it's some kind of factory rebuild.
It's a reman.
And she pulled the head off. The cylinders look really good. Still got hone marks in them. It's 40 over. This head was all gummed up with something. So we'll probably
there's some kind of fuel system problems.
So she's gonna go through this engine, like major tune-up kind of thing. Rings, bearings.
Go check it out.
Mm-hmm. Rings, bearings, gaskets, valve job.
Yeah, all the stuff.
The stuff you do. Put it together and just swap it out with the engine that's in the Dart, so we won't have a leaker, and it'll be a good running engine for a while until she decides to do something else. And that stuff is gummy, gooey stuff. Jeez. That is some nasty stuff. And
they had some serious fuel system problems.
Okay, where do you want this?
I should probably call the guy who I got the motor from and let him know, like, don't run that other motor until you get a fuel filter or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The Ranger? No, I'll never drive the Ranger. The Ranger's completely apart. I mean, it's a parts vehicle.
Yeah.
There's
a Dakota though.
The Dakota, she got. Remember, if you're here when we did that in here.
That's another black truck. They probably think it's the same thing.
She took the Dakota, remember, and made an adapter herself out of sheet metal and welded a thing up. Made an adapter to put a carburetor on where the throttle body had been, and put a Volkswagen distributor in it with a little modifications. Got that to work. And I remember this. I'm looking at it's projects like that go. You get it all ready to go, and you go in and try to start it. It's like and then mess with it, and then poof up through the carburetor. You can imagine all the stuff that goes wrong. So she got that all ready to go. Got inside and turned the key, and it turned about a half a turn. I went boom, started right up. I couldn't believe it, So that's a viable option. But I'm likely to just bring the Valiant up to daily driver status.
Yeah, we got too many crippled vehicles up here. We just need to get stuff either get it going or move it along.
But if I was told today there's a 71 Chevrolet El Camino for sale in Tennessee for $1,000, it needs a few body parts, well worth the price. Yeah, where is that? 71. That's a body style I like.
Careful, we have Facebook Marketplace. We'll find your vehicle.
Let's see here.
Fill it out from under
Varnish. Chris says it's varnish. I don't know exactly what. I've never seen it.
Oh, yeah, it smelled like varnish. When I started pressure washing it, I was like, ooh, this is bad. Varnish. Go ahead.
What she's doing. Let's see here. I'm getting down there to you, 38. How about a 78 Chevy Carryall? I don't really want an SUV or a big car. I really like those. They're nice, but I don't want to drive that around every day. What I did was I went back and looked at that, what we call a Matador, and you call it I think a Rambler Classic. But that's a pretty expensive car. Insurance company's not gonna give me that much money. Kim, it would be easier to compress the springs with the C-clamp the other way around.
You think?
Well, now that you got the head tipped up, maybe it would be. You know, she made a little adapter thing for the other end, so.
It's giving me some grief here.
Well, then maybe you want to do it. Maybe you want to do what 38 says.
I'll try it. 38.
So 38, I forget what 38 sounds like. Now 38 Racing sounds like a handgun. Sounds pretty cool. Let's see here. I can get the ad for you guys. Okay, great. Mexican Spec. Den of Dreams Garage. Hello, good evening. How you doing? I bought the 73 Dart. I brought the 73 Dart Sport home today. Cool.
That's awesome.
Mexican Spec says not me, but with those guys. Okay, fine. See, maybe that'll work better. Maybe he's right.
Yeah, I had to move it on the table.
Well, what happened was the way it was on the table originally, we were going to work with it with the valves up, and now she's got it with the valve sideways, so maybe that'll work.
Well, this isn't really the right tool to put over top of the retainers. This is another part of the problem. I'm just kind of working with what I got.
Don't have the nice valve tool. One day we'll buy one of those.
Yeah.
You know what we're going to do tonight when we finish this live stream? Or maybe during the live stream.
What's that?
We'll do some, I got to get a couple of,
you got to make some shorts.
I got to make some shorts. Yep.
Maybe you can make me a tool then. We'll make that the short. 38, it's not working the way you said it would work.
Why not? Looks good on this end.
Not coming out. Nope, I got it.
She got it.
It's just as much of a pain in the butt this way. I don't know that it's any better.
The problem the other way is it doesn't contact, it isn't quite as nice on this end, but
Dream Garage.
if it works.
Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, Mexican Spec, I went right and looked at that Matador.
Oh man,
what did they call? There's a name for that.
Beautiful vehicle.
That blue one. I went right to that because I couldn't remember the price, and I was like, oh, that thing's expensive. But I'm still thinking about it.
Look at the shiny garbage stuck on there.
It's a disassembly.
See the shiny garbage on there?
Look at this. This is an intake. Oh, I don't know if they can see it. It's so black. Kim, it's so black you can't see it. This looks like, this right here, where I got my finger, looks like it was dipped in black paint. Like almost dry paint that you dipped it in there and then pulled it out and the paint was all, looks like gloss black paint. Can't believe it.
I mean, I can believe it, but it's yucky.
Kim, shoot me your address so I have a spare. I have a spare compressor.
Oh, a spare
compressor. Oh, that kind of compressor.
Then by the time it gets here, we'll be done. I'm gonna do this tonight.
Well,
so, thank you though.
But it won't be the last one.
Oh, it won't be. Well, that's true. I have to put them back on.
You know what I mean?
Well, send your email address to buffdelcampo@gmail.com, and
okay. You can send pictures if you want to this, but we won't get to it till Tuesday.
But also, send a hello. This is 38. Send me the address, and we'll send you the address. Because if I give it to you, tomorrow everybody will be here.
Why didn't that come up as a link? Oh, it is a link.
They'll want us to hang out.
Anybody can email me whatever they want, and if it's pictures, though, we'll get to it on Tuesday. But if you send me 38, if you send me just anything, email, then I'll have yours, and we can communicate, get phone numbers, and all that kind of thing. In a Dreams Garage, nope, not going Mopar 38, but I love a lot of males and models.
See, I got that one that easy.
Darts I love and slant sixes I love.
Mexican Spec.
I know what he means. He means makes and models, because that males and models sounds kind of strange. Okay, I like a lot of makes and models. Darts I love, and the slant sixes I have some Fords on my bucket list, and 77 Celica. Oh man, there's a good one. GM is my all-time love stuff. See, I'm like that. I had Fords when I was young, and I really liked my Fords because that's what I had. But I worked on a lot of cars when I was young and had shops in the 70s and 80s, automotive shops. Man, I had my favorites, and they were all over the place. Like there was Ford, GM, Chrysler cars, some Studebakers, the Jaguars that I had a friend of mine that was putting small block Chevys and Jaguars, and XJ6s, and I like those cars. There's a lot of stuff I like, and the sad thing is I remember them, and now I get one of those things, and they are so worn out that it's like, man, this car needs everything, and it's a lot of work, but I still like them. Glenbow 24, good evening. I miss having a Dodge Dart. Hi from Washington State. Hello, good evening. It's good to have you here.
These might be some burnt valves.
Did you get that?
Who? Say again, I'm sorry.
Glenbow 24. New.
Oh, Glenn, welcome to the stream. Glenn, where is he? Glenn?
It's like 1040. Well, it's up a little bit.
Glenbow 24. I miss having a Dodge Dart. Hi, from Washington State. Glenn, Heavens Mopars is out there. If you haven't found Heaven Mopar's channel, he's not my bestest friend ever, but he's a good guy. If you want to find a classic Mopar, Heaven's Mopar is, now you probably are 100 miles from it. He's probably halfway across the state from you. I don't know, but he is the guy that we know who's out on that side of the planet. But
Den of Dreams.
You are welcome to hang out here and make friends. Welcome to the street.
Den of Dreams and damn typos. That was a good one because I read it the way it was written and then I figured it out. Yeah, and we missed Olive. How you doing?
Olive, welcome to the stream.
I'm way behind in the chat.
Sorry.
And then I don't know.
Up del Campo, this valve is pretty burned. Can you?
And Mexican Spick just deleted something before he retracted it before I got it. He says he can't deliver a car because of all the fighting there. Man, that's still going.
Oh man, where at?
This is somewhere in Mexico where the Culiacan, somewhere in Mexico where he needs to deliver in El Camino, but he can't go there because of all the fighting going on. Man, Mexico can be so good, and then it can be like that. It's sad. He just got here. The air pressure swings got to my arthritis, so I took a rest. Oh, here's something that came up, Olive. When I was after the crash, I was in the hospital, and they did a CT scan on me, and doctor went to lunch, and another one came in and was talking to me. Everything was just about done, but she came in and was talking to me and doing a prescription. And she goes, "Yeah, I looked at the imagery," and she goes, "That arthritis you have is going to bother you a little bit. You're going to be sore, and the arthritis is going to bother you." I'm like, "Arthritis? I don't have any arthritis." "Yeah, you do." And she goes, "You're 70, She goes, "Everybody that's 70 has arthritis." And she goes, "Yours isn't that bad." But I guess I have arthritis. I move my neck around now, and it's getting better. It was click, 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 like, people would crack their neck. And it was really bad 2 days ago, and now it's like, it's almost back to the way it was. I've been sore, but it's definitely better.
Turn the AC off.
Go ahead, turn it off. Turn the AC off.
Dried up a lot of the...
Yeah, we had major water spill in here from coming in from the rain. Because when the wind blows a certain direction, we get water in here from a window that we've got to seal that window up. We thought we did, but obviously it's
You got your looky up closey glasses?
Looky up closey.
Tell me what's special about that valve.
What this marks here?
What do you think of that?
I would hate to put it in an engine other than just something temporary to get them by.
Oh, it's burned really bad.
Yeah, you might have to buy a couple of valves.
I think it's really pretty bad. Looking to see if the intakes are as bad.
Let's see, Mexican spec. My client has a 70 Chevelle in black with white stripes, and a 70 El Camino is for sale here in black. He wants it to match his car. Somebody else further back. Oh, Den of Dreams says we have a 72 El Camino Sprint. Oh, like a GMC Sprint. Man, back with my radiator shop, my first one, across the street was a Pontiac Buick GMC dealer, and they always had a few GMC Sprints over there. And I really like El Caminos, and to me, the GMC Sprint was the one to have because it said GMC on it instead of Chevrolet and El Camino. So I kind of wanted one of those, but buying new cars is it's a big expense that you lose a lot of money on right away. But compared to today, it costs more than they did then, and they're completely worn out. Yet I think about it. Let's see, Chris, my original Mopar is a 61 Power Wagon, Town Wagon, 400 CID or 400 cubic inch, 4x4 old radio command truck from the Army. Oh, that's cool. Buff has my email address. Okay, I can't get to it right now, but thank you. We'll be in communication. And that's good too, because you lent me some parts that I'm gonna have to get back to you. That's so funny. I still laugh about it. After Kim made sure that she thought I was okay, well, I rolled off in the ambulance somewhere. She went in there. First thing she grabbed was your side marker lights, because you got to save stuff that belongs to other people. And it's kind of funny because she and I think the same. And I really didn't know we thought the same until she did that. Used to go to Nogales a lot in my big rig with the reefer to pick up produce. Wow, the town looked like it could be a rough place. Man, a friend of mine used to go to Nogales. He was I was going to say a navigator because I'm an airplane guy. He was a conductor on a freight train. He used to make a lot of runs to Nogales. And the trains would come across from Mexico, and they'd hook onto and go north with them, or they'd take them down there and they'd have some kind of border crossing thing. And the Mexican, I can't think of what the Mexican train is. Anyway, they'd pick them up and take them into Mexico. No rush on returning those lights, thanks. I had a real. I'm still not finished being busy with this crash because I have an appointment with an adjuster on Monday, and I'm sure there's going to be a few other things. And so I'll get to it, but it'll probably be a week or two before I can get those drawn up in the CAD. Mexican Spec says, Tim, it's always calm when I go there. Ciudad Juarez and Tucson are pretty rough, and one further down is a no-go zone. You know, I like the little border towns like Algodones, which is right across from Yuma. That's a nice little town, and it's not big, but it's a border town, so it caters to a lot of people from the U.S. and from Canada. And the same thing with Mexican Spec didn't. Oh yeah, Ferromex, you're right. Mexican Spec did not agree with me, but there's a border town I like that's far eastern part of Texas, near the Gulf, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was just like Algodones, but Mexican Spec knows the state better, and he goes, he has a name for it. It's pretty funny. 38's taking off. Good night. Take care. Yeah, you're early morning farmer type. Yep. Have a good night. Thanks for coming by. Two hacks. What did he say about this? Have you seen the Black Knight GMC Sprint? Yeah, sounds familiar, but I don't remember it. Cars. Kim's over here grinding away at something with a pick. Let's see. Oh, you're cleaning gunk out of there.
Pretty rough.
Pretty rough. It's gonna get the oven cleaner treatment when you're done doing that. Oh, when you came up here tonight, was that fan still going?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was dry then. We put a fan last night. We were up here and this head was soaking wet, so she put a fan blowing air on it. So hoping it would dry, and we were gonna come back up here, and we didn't. She had a meeting to go to, and she wasn't feeling good, and didn't go to the meeting. And then we didn't come back up here, and I forgot all about it. So tonight, when she came up here, that fan was still blowing on the head. Uh, there are docks in Nogales. Oh, don't know. I bet Tim knows. Mostly stayed around the docks. Oh, okay. So I didn't have to go into town with the big truck. Oh, so you were on the Mexican side. Yeah, see, because the trains, they go down. They never cross into Mexico. They have like a cross-border thing, and they bring the train across or shove it in there, and then Americans hook onto it. And then it had I think they X-ray all the cars coming in, because they find people stowed away in the containers and in the cars, and then Border Patrol gets involved. When I was talking to Carl about that, he told me that. I was kind of surprised that they do that, because they're gonna get caught. Okay, let's see. Den of Dreams garage. My slant 6 bent push rods. Last time I messed with it about 6 years ago. Last time it was plated. Oh, plated. Okay, that means there's license plates on it. It was 1994. Can I just swap cam and lifters and resurrect it, possibly? Kim, you need to read that
again. My slant 6 bent push rods. Last time I messed with it about 6 years ago. Last time it was plated was 1994. Can I just swap cam and lifters and resurrect it If it bent push rods, it probably doesn't need a cam and lifters. It probably has stuck valves. So if you replace the bent push rods and free up the valves, so probably just trickle some Croil or spray some, and then tap 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 on the valve and spray some stuff until it loosens up, and then it will run. You probably don't need cam and lifters. That probably won't fix it. Valves, stuck valves.
Kim, didn't we have one with a bent push rod?
What did we have that had a bent push rod?
I'm thinking we had a slant with a bent push rod, but maybe it wasn't a slant.
I have in my life, but I don't remember.
We had something here with a bent push rod, and that's what it was. Valves or stuff.
Stuck valves. That's what bends push rods. Or
valves hitting pistons.
Valves hitting pistons. That would be on a new motor that has been assembled wrong, or if you've got too much play in the timing chain, or if you have if your cam has too much lift and your spring,
the spring binds. The spring
bind.
Yeah, it stops because it runs out of spring.
What are these things called? Retainers. If the retainers hit the top of the
keepers.
If the keepers hit the top of the what's this? The thing that the valve slides through. Help me out with terminology here.
The which?
The part that this slides in.
The valve guide.
Yeah, if the keepers hit the guides because the guides are too high, like if you have a higher lift cam, you have to cut the guides down so there's more room for the spring to move. So those are reasons why. So if it's an old engine that was already running and it sat for a long time and you bent push rod, it's almost always stuck valves, because it's very unlikely that the geometry of the valve train has changed while it sat. So stuck valve.
Mike's here.
Check out the
Mike N.
Welcome to the stream, Mike. Thanks for coming here, guys. See, Mike knew what I was talking about right away. See this.
See, we both do this. I'm worse. I can't remember names of
see how
people
much
and
movement
things.
there is in this valve guide. Do you think it needs guides?
But that's bad. That's bad.
That's a bad amount of
That's
guide.
bad.
So it needs guides and seats. This head's probably not even worth taking apart, is it?
Do we have another head?
The one that's on the car.
It might be probably worn out worse.
I would guess that it's worn out. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Something I learned in high school was how to knurl guides, but that takes some tools. And the guys now, like Slant Daily, Shane, he kind of laughs at that knurling guides because he says it's not going to last. But I don't know. We used to do it and it worked fine, but maybe that's not the right way to do it.
It's kind of the hokey way.
You know what? We taught to do it in high school, and we did it, and they didn't burn. You didn't have oil going up past the guides anymore. So I don't know. Of course, I don't know how long it lasted.
Yeah, I mean, it would have probably been fine, and I think that these guys like Shane, he's got money. He can spend the money to get it done the good way.
Mike, we were affected by the storm, but not in a violent way. It went by the center went by probably 20 or 30 miles to the east of us. So we had a lot of rain, and enough that and the direction the wind was blowing, we've got a window that leaks that we've tried to seal up a couple of times, but it's leaking. And so we got a bunch of water on the floor. Kim vacuumed that up with a wet dry vac before we went live tonight, and we ran the air conditioner for a while.
I would be embarrassed to pretend that the storm affected us in any way at all.
And right, and there was no wind. I mean, once it was landfall, the wind kind of just died down. Just a big old rain, just a big old soaker rainstorm. That's all. Which is actually good because our lawn hasn't grown much, and a couple of days from now it'll be sunny, and I'll go out there and be able to cut some lawn.
It's past grass growing season.
Oh, I can see though. It's tall, and I'll go out there and lop it down.
Weeds are the only thing that still grow.
I'll go out and lop it down one more time, and then we're gonna treat the mower for.
You know what? I think it's almost time to plant garlic. They said you plant garlic in October.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gotta go out and plant my garlics.
Old school trick was to knurl pistons too. I kind of remember that.
I've heard that was a smoky unit kind of thing.
See, I was putting together an engine. I don't even remember which engine it was.
That ain't working.
I don't remember which engine it was, but one of my radiator shops had a machine shop next door.
Oh shit!
I guess it came apart.
Kind of. Wow.
So I was over there, and the owner of the machine shop was a guy that really knew his shit, and he was putting together an engine of mine, and we were getting the piston cylinder wall clearance right, and he was measuring the pistons, and then he was measuring the cylinders, and one of my pistons wasn't quite right, and they were new, and he just took and tapped on the skirt a little bit. I don't remember which way, but he tapped. I goes, "Is it okay to do that?" And he goes, "Yeah, of course." And he tapped on it. Pretty soon, the piston cylinder wall clearance was right, and we put it together. And I'm thinking that was my 289 Ford, I think, and that engine ran fine. So he adjusted that by tapping on the skirts a little bit. It surprised me to see somebody do that. And that was when I was 17 or 18 then. Man, that guy was. I haven't seen him in years. I should try to get a hold of him. No, a guy that owned the machine shop next door to me.
Oh.
He was like 4 or 5 years older than me, so he'd be 75 now, And,
oh yeah, he might be right.
And he's an interesting guy. It'd be interesting to talk to him again. He was into small block Chevys and big block Chevys. He had a Corvette with Crowder injection on it that he drove on the street with a 427, maybe it was a 454, I don't remember, big block Chevy. And then later on, after I did all my airplane stuff, I talked to him a couple of times, and he really got into Saabs. So he's building Saab engines for some kind of race application. So he's one of those guys. Good news, don't have to wash any of your cars. You have no idea.
Oh, man.
Yesterday, we have oak trees, and oak trees poo all over our cars, So the what do you call it? The Jeep, this stuff like moss growing all over it. So I decided she had her pressure washer going. So I decided I was going to wash the Jeep with a pressure washer. Well, it wouldn't taking the stuff off, so we ended up using soap. And she had a towel, and she's up on top of the Jeep, and she was already worn out. So she got really worn out. But we washed the Jeep, and I bet it took us an hour to get that crap off there. So now the Jeep looks nice and shiny and clean.
It looks way better.
And now it's raining on it, so it's even shinier.
I owed your Jeep a good wash because I've been using it and it deserves it. It's a good vehicle.
And I always say when it rains like this, yeah, I should have gone out there and put soap all over our cars before it started raining, but I never do. You know, it's like a joke. Old school chick who's the Neural Pistons. A lot of time they would call the sheriff and have them bring the dogs. I never got any tickets, but it was always a pain. Yeah. Glenbow has a pumpkin. Kim, why is that? Buff, my son was supposed to be here today. 2 days ago, he said he couldn't make. Excuse me. He couldn't make it. His reason was, I like to live. Yeah. Buff, you're in touch with enough old friends. You know, there are a few. There's one guy I know you've been communicating with, a guy named Rick, and I'm not going to give any names. I'm not going to give any last names or anything, but I know you and Rick have been in contact. And Rick. I met him like in 7th grade, and they lived down the street from me, so I've known him since then. And Buff Mexican Spec is calling me old, Tim. Oh, Tim, you told me how old you are. Yeah, well, you know
check that out. That's even
doctor
worse.
one time said to me, not too long ago, a doctor said I was elderly. I never thought about being elderly. Oh, look at this. They'll be able to see that.
Look. It's like candy apple black.
Look at that. It's like somebody dipped it in that, you know, that plastic dip stuff. Look at that. It is shiny,
nice.
oh man, look at the inside of it. It's so black, I don't know if they can see it. It looks like it's like gloss black paint.
Tar.
Oh, like tar. That's what it looks like. Tar.
But how is it stuck to the intake like?
How is it stuck to the inside of the intake? What the heck does that? Actually, talking about another of his friends, the one that talks a lot. Oh, the one that talks a lot. Yeah, that's Rick.
Hey, easy on Rick.
Rick will be 71 in October, sometime in October. So we can all say happy birthday to Rick. Yeah, that's what you do, Mexican Spec. The next time, I'll sometime about, I don't know what it is, 14th or something. Say happy birthday to him. He'll never know how you knew that.
Speaking of happy birthdays, and he's probably asleep by now, but a regular in our channel, John Hart, a friend of mine, he's local to us. It's his birthday today. I think he's 71.
Oh, Mexican Spec, he's already told you when his birthday is. Jeez, that's pretty funny.
Make sure you send him a present.
Yeah, make sure you spend him a present. Den of Dreams. I gotta head to bed. Love the live streams. Just finally did our first one the other day. Oh wow. Okay. Well, thanks for being here. Take care.
Awesome. Keep up the good work.
I'm hungry. Sorry, I'm eating a couple of mixed nuts. Mixed nuts.
That's good.
Yeah, I think these rode through the crash.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Jim says, I was just giving you a hard time, but yeah, I'm old. He told me when his birthday was. I already told him happy birthday. He always reminds me when his birthday is, because my birthday's in February. We're both in the same class in school, but he always, advances a year, a couple months before I do. So he always is telling me how he's a year older than me when he's actually like 3 months older than me. Actually, I try to get some work done, but he talks a lot. Yeah, he does. So I don't know. I think he's kind of bored. You know, most of the people in here, we got stuff to do. We got cars to work on, and we're probably got more projects than we can do, and so we got a pretty interesting life. And Rick is his wife was the one that had the career. Rick worked, he had a job, but she's the one that really had the intense career. And then they retired. His wife went to work at a animal shelter as a volunteer, so she still works, and Rick takes care of the house. And I've been to their house, and it is spotless, clean, everything just so. And they have cats that are indoors that use a cat box. And if a cat heads that cat box, Rick is right over there. That cat box is clean. A minute later, it's clean, and he keeps that house.
It's not fair of you to talk much about you.
He keeps that house spotless. So that's what Rick does. And he likes to talk to people on Facebook. And he's got friends all over the place, mostly pilots. He flew airplanes when he was young. So he was young, like a teenager, he was learning to fly, but never really had a flying career. But so he's got a lot of pilots online, and that's what he enjoys. You know, Facebook, that's what he enjoys. And Instagram. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. Um,
We all have our quirks.
actually, and a lot of my friends, all my close friends that were car guys, they're all dead already. We all had 56 and 57 Fords, and I was always going to build a 56 or 7 Ford and drive it back to California and go see these guys. But they're all gone. It's really sad. They're all gone. So now,
being a car guy is a tough life.
So people come, people go.
That's why I'm a car girl.
You know what? And Kim, my closest friend now is Kim, and we are. When I was doing all that car stuff, you weren't even around yet.
I wasn't even born.
You weren't even born yet. Yeah, he asks a lot of personal questions. Yeah, there's times that I'm talking to Rick, I feel like I'm being interrogated by the police, but he's not. He doesn't do anything with that information. He's just
curious.
He's a curious guy, you know. And I have a couple of friends that have become friends with him online, and they didn't like him because they said, "Well, this guy is like he's interrogating me." I said, he's harmless. That's just Rick, you know. He asks questions because he's interested in your life and what you do, and he's curious. Yeah.
He's actually part of the security, and he works for Google, and he keeps track of all
Mexican specs. I don't know that for sure. Well, I've known him since I met him in 1966. So, you know.
We can vouch for
I know him.
He's all right.
He doesn't do anything with that information. The only thing is, he'll tell other people about what you do. So, I mean, there's things he's already told me that you and he discussed about what I should do with this crash. And it's like, yeah, and the crash and what I should do is I'm learning a lot. I'm learning how to deal with insurance companies. I'm learning what to say, what not to say, and what issues to press at what time. And it's, I've got to be patient. And yeah, I know I've got things I got to do. And I'm doing. Why did I come to Mexico? How many kids do I have? That sounds like Rick. Oh. When young people read about what you did in their history books, that makes you feel very experienced. Old, in parentheses. That's Tim.
Why can't I get this keeper? There it is. I just had to yell at it.
You have to yell at the keeper.
Yeah, I got
so
it.
It'll come undone.
I got it. I'm what? I'm 2.5 cylinders into 6, so we're no point in stopping now. Let's just keep on going. This candy one though, We're gonna have to see if we can get good video of
Well,
this.
see, you say I insist they arrest. See, I can't do that right now, and there's reasons. Right now, I have to be patient, and you can probably figure out why. The insurance company, when I talked to the adjuster, the first adjuster for the other man's insurance, he asked me some questions, and then he said, well, the witness statements, with what we have with the witness statements, he goes, we're going to take responsibility for this. And that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I heard. And yeah, Mex Inspect, that's exactly right. So right now, I have to be patient. And yep. So right now, I'm doing what I have to do. And I'm not injured bad enough that I can't do normal things. I have to pay attention a little bit, so something in my neck is something other than just like right there when I did that.
I'm sore from watching you wreck.
That's sore right when I did that. I hit a sore spot. It's like, ugh. But it's way better than it was 2 days ago. So, you know. Oh yeah. Research on the value of the car I've done. Tim's gotten tired of me doing all this stuff I'm doing.
No,
I'm like, I've become somewhat of an expert on Kentucky law about assault.
Oh yeah, I hear him up all night studying.
And I've been researching value of cars by what they're asking for them and what they go for, things like that. Not necessarily Blue Book. And one of the things I'm amazed at, I looked at Mazdas same age as mine that looked really nice. I can't believe the miles on them. Mine had 127 on it, and I thought that was high. But I haven't found any that have fewer miles than mine. They all have like 160 and 170, and one of them had like 270 on it. It's like, wow, where am I going to find a car that is lower miles, you know? And they want a fortune for them, so I don't know. Maybe they'll pay me that. Don't forget the parts of the car were made out of gold. Those cars were smashed, so you can't recover them. Dan bathes them. Tim, these mixed nuts are really good. I gotta stop eating them.
Stop it.
Any of you sit there and eat mixed nuts and find them addictive? Man.
I buy them so you'll eat them and then you won't stop eating them. It's strange. I buy them so you won't walk around. I heard that. The keepers are started now.
I heard that.
First round of keeper removals. Come on out, keeper. Come on. Good job. Come on.
Been watching some really cool videos from No Name Nationals. Big Mike had some good drone videos.
Oh, I did see that Big Mike was running his drone. That was cool.
We have some.
We're probably videos and stuff.
We're probably gonna have another one that's more about us and the trip in the Dart and things like that. The junk car, I almost said junkyard, junk car Willie, junk car being one word. He did a lot of interviews there and took a lot of video, and there's some good stuff there. And I posted a short a couple of days ago of a Vega, a Chevy Vega doing a run that was incredibly fast.
I've got a really good burnout by the Cookie Monster.
Tim, I don't know this. I don't know the answer to this. Tim wants to know who had the brown Nova that was doing huge wheel stands.
Brown Nova.
Was that the one the guy did a wheel stand? He did like, he went up like 45, 50 degrees up and slammed it down and then went up again and then because he said he was having trouble getting traction, and the next run he did enormous wheel stand, you know. And I don't remember who that was.
I don't know who had a brown Nova. The Laguna, there was a brown Laguna. Are you sure it wasn't a brown Laguna?
No, it's not the Laguna.
Not the Laguna.
He was broken by then.
Okay.
And that's Dylan Levi from Levi's. What does he call it? Levi's Backyard Garage?
Backyard Performance?
Or Backyard Performance, something like that. And Levi was there, and so was
Levi's wife was backup girl for.
Well, I can't think her name.
Hacks.
Oh, they're not married. That was a joke. They were going to get married at No Name Nationals, but they didn't. That was.
She looked very pretty. She was
That was
boots and.
That was oh, I can't think of her name. I should know. Brooke. That was Brooke. Yeah.
Is it Brooke?
Brooke. And Brooke was out there. She was a backup girl for
Two Hacks.
For Two Hacks
For
in
the
the dragster.
That was cool of her to do that. She didn't have to do that. She was all dressed up.
You know what? And she is. I kind of know her a little bit. Because I've talked to her. This is the third year I've talked to him and known him. And I said to her the first year, I said, so you work with him on the car, you're interested in, she goes like this, no.
She doesn't care nothing about the cars.
It's like, and then I see her out there as a backup girl.
For her to do that.
Good. She got involved in it, you know. That's pretty good. So you work with him in the car. No.
Who did have the brown Nova that does wheel stands?
John Hart.
John, happy birthday.
We were talking about you because it's your birthday.
Is it today or yesterday?
Oh, it might be yesterday. No, it's today. We still have 45 minutes. Ah, man.
There you go. There's a cracked.
I had a Laguna that same color in Vegas in the 90s. It was a very average car. Yeah, Lagunas just have a really cool, what is this? Oh, this is you can get an idea of the valve seal. Can you see that crack? Yes, you can. I can't focus it. It is cracked. It's a valve seal that's cracked. Yeah, to me, I always liked the Lagunas because the front end, the first year especially, which was 73 Laguna. Man, 73, I was, I had a kind of a auto repair job, but I was still pretty new, young kid, didn't have much money, but I thought I could make payments. And there was an El Camino at the dealer with a Laguna nose on it. I wanted that thing so bad, and I needed a cosigner. Talked to my parents, and it was like, no. Okay. I guess I won't buy that. But I've always wanted a Laguna, a 73 ever since then. There was a Blue Olds that ran against Dallas Bird. It was fat. Yeah, he beat Dallas. That had a Dart engine, a big block Chevy Dart engine in it. And that sucker was fast. That thing pulled the front wheels. And so did Dallas, But they pulled the front wheels under control. They'd be up, 6 inches or foot maybe at the most. And they controlled it well. But yeah, both those cars were fast. And so was Shane in Cookie Monster. That thing was quick. And I put up one video. It was the first run Shane did, and he was kind of got a little bit squirrely, but pedaled it and got it going straight. Still did a really good run. Mexican Spec says, have to go to do a few things. If you're here when I get done, I'll be back. If not, good night. Thanks for being here, Mexican Spec, and take care. Yeah, I hope you are back.
Better come back, Mexican Spec.
And Bruce.
Don't think you could just leave.
Bruce Culture says, gotta go. Good night to all. See you next stream. Okay, and thanks for being here, Bruce.
Didn't you have a step bit somewhere?
I did. I put it on top of one of these toolboxes. Do you see it? You found it? Okay. Because I couldn't, with that puddle over there, and you vacuuming, I couldn't get to the cabinet.
Oh. All this stuff is falling out. Everything. Yeah.
KB Yard got in a 73 Laguna 454 in my teens. Sadly, those Colonnade cars rusted out. Oh, Colonnade, is that what they call that body? See, and I didn't even understand that because I was in Central California and Southern California. Nothing rusted there. Unless you went stupid and drove it on the beach. Then people had rust problems, but most people didn't do that. So, yeah, I never knew what cars rusted and what didn't until I moved to Ohio. By the time I got to Ohio, there were none of those left. So it's a Colonnade car. I have to remember that. Yeah, it's 73 El Camino I wanted. It had a 350 and an automatic Laguna nose piece on it. Man, that was a good looking El Camino. And then that was a new body style. It just come out, so. But looking back, if I had my preference, I'd have the body style. That noise is Kim drilling something.
Sorry for the noise, everybody.
JB, yeah, I've been spoiled living in Texas. I don't remember where you are in Texas. If you're in the eastern part or the western part. The western part can be really dry, and there's a lot of cars out there that are old cars that are really good. The eastern part, I don't know. It's when I get in the eastern part of Texas, sometimes I feel like I'm in Louisiana. The wet, humidity, and I really don't know what the cars are like there. But in the west side, if I'm going along I-20, I see cars just along the roads, on the frontage roads, that are for sale, that are 40s, 50s, 60s cars. But usually when I'm going through there, I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, so I don't stop and look at them. I'd love a 73 SS 454 wagon. Only here for the SS wagon, though. You could get a 402 and 72, but not an SS. Central. Oh, Austin. Okay. And I've been to Austin before, but I really I don't know the area well. What do they call that? The Hill Country? Is that Hill Country? Austin. I used to fly through there, a small plane going across Texas, and just kind of avoid Austin because, more. There's no reason to take a small plane and fly it over a city or near another airport. Kind of avoid that stuff. And so mostly I didn't go to Austin, but I know the area. The Hill Country is northeast of Boston. Beautiful area. Okay. There's an airport I used to land at. Trying to think of the name of it. Conroe. You know where Illinois. Conroe, Texas has an airport. I used to land there on the way across sometimes. And that was people there friendly and oh, okay, northwest. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, so I don't remember exactly where Conroe was. It was north of one of the cities. And it was because I was skirting around the outside of some airspace that I didn't want to go through in a small plane.
Why are you being so difficult?
That noise, and they're hearing that noise, Kim. I can see it on the. Now it's quiet. Just it stopped chattering. Maybe we need to take a camera over there, or bring the project over here. Native Texans are for the most.
Why are you fighting me so bad? Do you know where the cutter thing with the blade in it is?
Cutter thing with the
blade. The rotary, the thing that spins like this, it goes and cut things. Damn it, my brain!
What thing goes like that? That's spins.
It's the death wheel, the cutter thing.
The cutter thing, death wheel. We have a bunch of things that could be cutter thing, death wheels. What, the die grinder?
It takes these round things and it makes death.
Oh yeah, Conroe's north of Houston. Yeah, that's why. Because I didn't want to go through Houston. Obviously, that's not a place to fly a small plane through.
The thing that uses these to make death.
The ankle grinder.
The ankle grinder, yeah.
I don't know where it is. It used to be in that wood cabinet over there, the one I fell out of yesterday. Man, I took a spill yesterday, and she come running to me, but I didn't get hurt. I grabbed a cabinet. The cabinet didn't have anything in it. So the cabinet went over, and I went over on top of the cabinet. And tonight she asked me, why is that cabinet on its side? I said, well, it fell. You say Texas for the most part quite friendly. I know a girl. It's actually a sister of a friend of mine, and she was a nurse, and she worked at a big hospital. And man, the noise. This is like No Name Nationals. The noise. I can't talk over the noise, but I'll be with you in a second, Junk Car Willie.
It's done.
It's done. Okay. So, first of all, I don't know. So, anyway, Dallas was an interesting place, and I always thought Dallas was kind of like the New York City of Texas. But the rest of Texas, and of course, I didn't really know many people there. But the rest of Texas, yeah, everybody's pretty friendly. Junk Car Willie, are you all healed up? Well, I'm feeling better. I don't know how hurt I was. You know, they did a CT scan. I thought you were done with the noise. Now you're hammering.
I thought that wasn't so bad.
So I had a CT scan. They said I didn't have any broken bones. But the doctor says, you're going to be really sore. And he was right. And my neck's got all this, you know, like some people can crack their neck. Mine is extreme. It's like crack, 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 crack. And that's diminishing. So, and my shoulders are kind of sore, and down the middle of my back, it was like a T across my back was really sore, like sore muscles. But today's the best day so far. Soreness is pretty much gone. The cracky business is a little bit there. Definitely getting better. And really, other than that, I've been fine. Hardest thing I've had is sleeping. And a lot of that is just laying there thinking about all the stuff going on. You know, I lost my good daily driver, the car I could always count on, and
they're not going to pay him enough to replace it.
And they're probably not going to pay me enough to replace it. So
that's upsetting.
So and when I looked for other ones, that makes Fort Worth the New Jersey on Texas. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Says I was lucky. Yeah, it was quite a ride, man. And that key,
I watched, and it was freaking crazy, and
she thought I was dead.
I didn't know what to think, but I was bracing, like I knew that it was really bad, and honestly, it was not nearly as bad as I. What I saw was your car just flipping out. It looked like a NASCAR accident where the car just would just be a ball of nothing, and your car held together. You were lodged up on the cables. I couldn't believe it that your car looked as good as it did.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't look good, but I thought it was going to be just.
It was still looked like a Mazda 6, but there wasn't a straight panel on it.
Yeah,
And
it was caught up in.
it was
cables
very beat up in the front.
But all the windows were pretty much in it. It had only popped 2 airbags. It hadn't popped the one in your face, which probably helped your neck.
So, yeah, the airbags on the right side popped, but I think that's because I hit that. There were 4 cables, and I went over 3 of them. The 4th one kept me from going in.
I hit that, but he drove you off the road into.
Okay, I rode through this. I went over the top of 3 cables, and the 4th cable caught me enough that I ended up between the cables, and I didn't go into the oncoming lanes, which is really good. But I couldn't get the doors open. Front windows still went up and down, power windows. Oh, the really strange thing, I don't know if I told this on Tuesday night, but
about the phone call.
About the phone call. Everything came to a stop, and the dust, I couldn't see anything because the dust, it started clearing, and I'm starting to think about where I am. And I look up the roads because I'm facing backwards, and I see like it's a straight highway, and I can see like a mile of cars stopped, and I'm like, oh man, I hate being in one of those. now I'm the one sitting here causing a problem. So, although it's the guy that ran me off the road that caused the problem. So then dust was clearing, and then my infotainment center lit up. Oh, I couldn't shut the car off. It wouldn't shut off. I didn't know why. It has a push button. It wouldn't shut off. The infotainment center came on with a big red cross in the middle of it, and it says, I hear this voice, a woman's voice says, she goes, 911, what's your emergency? Were you in a crash? Were you in an accident? I'm like, I didn't call him. My car called him. So I guess with the G-forces, it does that. I don't know. Maybe it's because the airbag deployment. It calls 911. So I said, yeah. And she goes, where are you? I said, I don't know. I'm in Kentucky. So I don't know the mile marker. I can't see one here. I'm off the road. I'm stuck in the car. And so anyway, and then in the background where she was, I could hear other calls coming in, other 911 operators answering calls that were people calling in about the same wreck I was in. That was kind of interesting. And then she hung up. I was trying to hang up. I couldn't hang up. It wouldn't hang up. So she hung up, and I still couldn't get the car shut off. And then some woman came and introduced herself as, I don't know what she is, some kind of EMS or health professional. And she and Kim, I could crawl out the window, but I was going to go head first into all the trash and junk and everything. So, and I couldn't get the door open. So they just each grabbed me under the armpit and pulled me out. My legs swung down like landing gear, and I was standing there. I felt fine at the time. So,
well, I'd say at that point there was enough adrenaline.
But I didn't understand there was enough adrenaline that I probably felt good because of that. Old cars are cool, but new cars save lives. You got that right.
I got to tell you, all that foam and plastic is put together the way it needs to be. Airbags, disposable things.
It looks like Olive says back, bought popcorn. Oh man, that's got carbs in it, but I could sit there and eat like bags of popcorn, but I can't.
Oh man, this will break my finger.
That stuff's addicting. Yeah, I lost track of what I was saying because of the popcorn. The 72 Valiant's likely to become my daily driver. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to have to be really careful in that car because today's cars, people are driving them pretty aggressively. And I don't want to get an entanglement like that in a 72 Valiant, Yeah. That would not be. And Kim says it's really good that didn't happen in the dark because we wouldn't have lived through it.
It would have hurt. We might have lived through it, but we would have smacked our heads off the dashboards. We would have been yanked around really hard. There would have been no airbags. Probably would have knocked out.
The airbags didn't affect me at all. They went off on the far right side of the car, so they weren't. I never touched the airbags. They just went off. I think because I hit that fourth cable. I had an accident in 2017. Had to exit the vehicle and get my son out quickly. My shoulder made a crunching noise and hurt at the moment. The shoulder still cracks today when I move it in a certain way. Man, 2017. Tavo, what'd you miss? Oh, about an hour and a half. We talked mostly, I think, about Kim taking this engine apart.
Yeah.
And this, look at how goobed up this is. This stuff, it's so black you can't see it, but it's really.
Oh, you know what? Here,
you can see it there. They can see. Yeah, let's put a light on it. There's stuff on this valve, on the intakes. I don't understand why it's on the intakes. Oh, I can't see that.
You can see.
Oh, there, they can see it now. Look at that, and that is shiny, like gloss black
and
paint.
If you look, it's
even on the surface.
It's holding. Yeah, it's on the face of the valve.
And it's all down here on the stem, and it's on the intake.
That engine could not have been running good.
Yeah, it had a new carburetor on it. It's like, oh yeah, they tried to fix it.
Yeah, they knew the engine was not running right, and they were replacing it. That's why we got it. But it'll clean up. It's a good short block.
Yeah, 72 was a good year. That's the year I graduated from high school. I can't believe I'm 70, and that's the year I graduated from high school. I got a car that's a 72. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, this valve wouldn't have been closed.
Tavo's here.
It wouldn't have been closing. It would have been hanging open.
It would have been hanging open.
Yeah, that motor was not.
Well, the good thing is, this thing's been rebuilt, so the cylinders are really good shape. And the bottom end is probably in good shape. The bearings are probably useful.
Yeah, it probably didn't run. There's no way they could even
the
break
head
it
needs
if
a
they
bunch of
wanted to.
work. But
yeah, I'm happy.
But when we get another slant together, put it, it'll be putting a slant in an A body is not a difficult job.
It's got manual steering. It's got no air conditioning. It's a breeze putting a motor.
So put an engine in there. It'll run good, and you won't have any oil leaks. And the Dart was, man, it was a pretty good car to drive over there and back, other than having to keep putting oil in. I had to pay attention to the oil level. Yeah. But,
all we have to do is wait an entire freaking year to race it. Damn.
Well, so, you know what? We're like 300. We don't have a number yet on John's wall.
51 weeks.
I noticed there's the orange sign up there with no number on it. We got a lot of time for no name nationals. We're gonna be ready this time.
Well, yeah.
My two happy cars were built when I was in grade 3, says Tavo. Yeah, mine was. I graduated from high school as 72 Valiant, and that's not really my favorite A body, but I like A body Chryslers. My favorites are really 67 through 9 Darts, and 67 through 9 Barracudas are probably my favorite body style. The big long fastback Barracudas from, second gen Barracudas, and I'd say those are probably my favorite. But there's nothing wrong with the Valiant, especially with
it's a good little car.
What I plan on doing to it.
And it was cheap.
Oh yeah, we got a deal on it. Well, I did a lot with Uncle Tony, and I guess
that's what he
gave me that.
Did you want that?
He gave me his part of it, and then I bought the part. It was his and Stubby's. So
that guy wanted $750 for the husk of that Dart that this.
This other guy. But Stubby, I gave Stubby some money, not much, and he gave me the title. So, and you know what we did yesterday? I felt pretty good. The registration's due on it. Kim goes, we're already downtown, and she goes, drive over to the she called it DMV. Here it's the county, some other office. And we went over there, and I paid the registration for another year on the Valiant, and it's still insured. So I've got current registration insurance on the Valiant. Yeah, So now
we're gonna drive.
So now that's gonna be.
It's gonna get going.
It's gonna get driven.
We're gonna get the suspension finished, and then we'll be able to ride it around.
You're talking about aggressive drivers, and the Valiant reminds me of Duel. Watched that again the other night. Duel, Duel. Duel.
I think Duel is a Mopar movie.
Oh, okay.
Or is it Vanishing Point or Duel? Is Duel?
I don't know.
They've got a Valiant. Duel. I don't remember. I never saw it.
Yeah, it was. People are pretty aggressive, and it's these guys jack these trucks way up. These enormous new trucks, and they jack them way up, and then they'll drive right on your bumper at 80 or 85 miles an hour, and it's just, when they put the big tires on them, the lever arm for the brakes isn't enough anymore. They don't understand that, so they're not going to stop well. And man, and I guess they feel safe. Duel has a Valiant.
Okay, yeah, thought so. Thought so. Duel, the old Mack tanker chasing the red Valiant. Oh, okay. I don't know it. I'm gonna have to go look this up. We could probably watch it on like Netflix or Amazon.
He's being chased around by a murderous semi. Jeez. Well, I'm likely to do something major to that Valiant to make it still look like a Valiant, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah, we'll get the front end redone.
Tavos supplied me with a lot of drawings and things and dimensions from the Utes down there, and I'm intrigued by that somewhat.
We've been talking about it.
But I don't know.
Look at that ridge where it tried to close and tried to push the tar back.
Oh my God, tar back. Okay, look at that right there. Look at that tar, and that's where the valve guide stopped the tar. Oh my God, what? I can't believe it's that bad. The intakes, why do the intakes have that on them?
Because there was some sludge coming through the fuel system. I think it was sugar in the gas tank, but
sugar doesn't dissolve in gas.
It could have been just varnish,
Just varnish.
Varnish will.
Oh, maybe old gas. I don't know.
I mean, it would have to be pretty old.
It was something nasty in there. Yeah, that's a bit of nasty going through there. Yeah, but
I mean, it gummed the engine all up. It could not have been running.
So Kim bought a used engine. So we don't really know the history on it other than it came out of a 67 Barracuda.
I mean, and I saw the car and I was talking to the guy and he was putting a
But the guy didn't own it.
318 in it.
It's a shop.
Owns a shop. Yeah.
And the guy was putting a
318
in it for the customer. And I'm gonna make I'm gonna put some Super C in some water. Enhanced water. Well, a mixed drink.
It definitely needs valve seats in it. The engine had some wear, but also this darn.
And I had a couple of cases of water in the car, and they came through unscathed.
It's good to know that water is not affected by.
Well, but, I mean, these could have burst.
They could have. And there you had a gas can in there. That could.
Oh man, I had 5 gallons of gas in a can, but I'd closed it tight. I sealed it before I put it in the car. But it was setting right side up in the floor of the passenger side, and that's the passenger side took a lot of the damage, and when everything came to a halt, I looked over, that gas can was on its side, and I didn't smell any gas, but I flipped it right side up, and it wasn't wet at all, and and it was one of the new California, safety cans. But we'd already defeated all the safety devices, and I had it sealed up. And it was old gas. It was bad gas that came out of
what was that fellow's name?
Sean O'Brien's car, which was the Datsun 260Z that was next to us, and he put 93 in it for the races, and it was terrible gas. He had 3 filters in line, clogged all 3 filters up. And he goes, I think it's the gas. And what it was 93, that the gas station just doesn't pump much of it. So it was old and smelled kind of funny. So he drained all that. He had a drain plug on his gas tank, and he drained it all, and he didn't have any place for it. I had an empty can. We were carrying an empty can in case we had to go get gas, and we ended up, I filled it to the brim with that bad gas. Now I have it here. It rode through the wreck, man. If that had caught on fire in there, I wouldn't have got out of that.
Well, he was trapped in the car.
I was trapped in the car. I couldn't get out. It was Kim, and I might have scrambled out onto my head somehow, but I would have been badly burned if I just, man.
This exhaust valve isn't so burned.
Being stuck in a car with 5 gallons of gas must have been scary. Well, you know,
there was a lot of scary stuff happening in that.
The scary crap was about done, because it was like this crazy ride, this crash, and I could hear things breaking and all this. What I remember, I didn't even understand there was a cable barrier. When I was going through it, just big gravel, like this gravel flying and dirt and dust and more gravel, and I could hear things breaking. It's almost like I could hear each break and crash, and it just was going on and on and on and on, and finally stopped. And then I saw the gas can flipped it up, no leak. And then the whole conversation with and then the dust is clear, and I could see up the road the whole conversation with the 911 operator that surprised me. And the window was down on this side, and I started trying to get out. It's like I couldn't really get out. And Kim and that woman that stopped, I wish I knew her name. Thank her, send her a Christmas present. What's that? Stephanie. No, Stephanie was the woman, the first woman that came up to me. A woman from Alabama that was traveling, that came up and asked me if I was okay, and she was rattled. And she asked me if I was okay, and she was one of the witnesses. No, the other woman was not a witness, but she was the one that you and her helped me, swung me out of there. I have no idea who she was. Okay. Utes are so cool. My sister lives in Brisbane. She has a right-hand drive 1992 Bonneville SSEI. Her husband has a Falcon Ute. See, and Falcons in Australia went on forever. We never got any of those newer Falcons, and they're some pretty nice cars. So, Buff, I bought my Demon when you were in high school. Oh, you bought the Demon new. I graduated in June of 72. Tim, my dog is calling. Your dog's always calling about this time. Later, Kim and Buff. Okay, thanks for coming by and spending some time with us. Take care, Tim. Oh, this is kind of interesting. It looked like Tang, but it's not. It's some other brand. Tastes orangey. Doesn't taste like Tang, but it's
no.
But it's
okay.
It's an orange. Oh yeah, it's good. It's just different.
Is that the stuff we got up at the Hilltop? Or did I get that?
It's stuff we got at Hilltop, and we got to go up there and get more of that sometime. Because Hilltop has a real good selection of these little things that pour in the drinks in there. Get boxes full of them for like $1.29 or something each. Freaking good. This is better than drinking the sodas, I bet.
Right.
And I took one of those and I mixed it in a big glass, like a big beer mug full of water today, which mixed it probably half again as much water as this. And they were still good. Oh yeah, this is all right. Okay, my left hand's a little shaky. But I can't blame that on the accident. It's not an accident, it wasn't on purpose. I can't blame that on the crash because it was a little shaky before.
I'd blame everything on the crash from now on.
Yeah, from now on, everything's the crash's fault.
Everything's because since that crash, just hasn't been the same.
Tell you what, I have noticed my eyes are not the same, and I think that'll probably.
Eyes,
I think that'll improve, but yeah. I'm not sure.
I think it's probably something sunburn on your eyes.
Well, I think it's. Well, I don't think it's sunburn on my eyes because I had on, but the part that got sunburn is a little bit of the back of my neck. And I use that banana boat 30 that I used to use in Arizona, work in the sun all day long out there. I was a little darker then, but I never got burned with that stuff. And I had it on the back of my neck, and I got a little bit burned. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. No name. But my arms didn't get burned. Just the back of my neck a little bit. Did you get burned at all? Because I gave you some of that. You smeared it all over yourself.
I'm burned a little bit, yeah.
You know that banana boat's about empty.
Is it?
And we used it. I bought it sometime, and I used it. So it already had stuff out of it. First, second, it's lasted for 3 no-name nationals now. So
well, we don't get.
I might have to buy another.
We don't go out in the sun too much.
Might have to buy another banana boat.
Well, maybe if they sponsor us, we will.
Yeah, maybe they'll send us some.
Maybe they better sponsor.
They don't sponsor us yet, but hey, banana boat, send us some.
Banana boat.
This stuff, it does work well. I mean, I worked in 120-degree days, day after day after day in the sun in Arizona, and I never got burned out there. Jeez. Oh, look at this. I can see through all the valve guides. I was going to say valve holes, but they're valve guides. Tawa says, my dog is safely tied down so he doesn't get blown away. Oh, man, it's that bad. What do you got going on down there?
Probably typhoons.
He's in, like, southern Australia, which is kind of like, we don't have an area like that. Like, we don't have a north coast all along the ocean. So it's opposite of us. So I don't really understand the weather patterns there. So, yeah, you're at the higher latitudes in Australia, closer to the pole latitudes.
Poles are made up.
But you're not that close because still your latitudes are lower than here.
You don't have to pretend like the Earth is round. Just tell them the Earth's flat.
No, I don't believe it. I don't believe this flat Earth thing. But you know what I always say? Clearly, you can see the sun is flat. Clearly, you can see the sun is flat. The Earth, it's round.
Not round.
We get nasty storms down here. North of the country gets cyclones now and then. Yeah, that's what I would think, because that's probably a lot more tropical. So my father was in New Guinea in World War II, and he has New Guinea stories and weather and that kind of thing. And then there's a guy I watch that's a pilot, flies an airplane around New Guinea, delivering stuff to small towns where there's no roads. And then occasionally he flies to Australia, northern part of Australia. So I've watched him fly into northern part of Australia before. What is his, I'm trying to think of his channel. It's like the, what is that called? The Missionary Pilot, I think. Interesting guy, great pilot. He just puts a camera in there and flies his single-engine turboprop around. He's just one of those real competent pilots. Just knows his shit, you know. So I enjoy watching him. Don't watch him a lot, but I watch him probably once a month or something. Watch him do a flight. My interest in airplanes is more historic, how airplanes were designed and things, and I watch a little of that, but my airplane days are over. I'm not into building and flying anymore. Although my old boss called me today, talked about maybe going out for flight testing for a week or so, 2. And I may do that if he really wants me. Because that would be some additional income.
That would be cool.
And a trip to Arizona, which is a nice place.
Oh, this is so gummed up. It must have been coughing and spitting out the intakes and everything real bad.
Don't say coughing to an old person.
Coughing?
Coughing. Oh, not that kind of coughing.
Not that kind of coughing. Coughing.
Coughing, not coughing. What Johnny Carson used to say when he was doing Aunt Blabby. He said, don't say, I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. It was funny. I think it was we were talking about an airport, the terminal, and he don't say terminal to an old person. Was that stuck?
Just, you know how the guy...
No, this one. Or you just didn't get to that
last one.
The last one.
Yeah, we're going to have to do video of the some of these valves for posterity.
Well, the good thing is now we can clean that head. I don't know, Kim, can you, I guess it's a machine shop operation that bore those out enough that you can put I don't know, what do they do, put a brass guide in them or something?
Oh yeah, that's definitely machine shop.
Yeah, we can't hammer those in ourselves.
No. You have to cut them, and you really need a machine.
And then reamers and all that.
Yeah. Cut them in. But that's all right. Oh, you could put in new guides, but it needs seats, so it's going to the machine shop.
So it's a machine shop job or another head. And with us, probably another head.
Well,
do we have some around?
The only other cylinder head we have for Slant 6 is on the Dart.
I thought you bought another slant that's hanging around here. Maybe not.
This is the other slant.
No, I thought there was another one.
No, there's a LA318. I don't think I have another one. Maybe I do. I don't think I do. What wouldn't? I think I got that much stuff lying around here.
All it says, Tavo, a lot of us here probably were in tropical storm, if not hurricane conditions. Yeah, you probably got hit with it worse than we did. I don't know exactly where all this, but she is further east and further south than us by some distance, and we're, the low pressure center went right by us, but it was we're way inland, so it was really calmed down. We really didn't get any wind. We got a lot of rain, huge amount of rain, but it wasn't what I'd call a violent storm at all. It just big old soaker rain. Yeah, Tavo, I don't like a lot of wind, and I don't enjoy that at all. We used to get wind out in the desert a lot, actually to the point where we couldn't fly, but because it wasn't freezing cold or wet, I didn't mind it as much. Although sometimes you get sand blowing. Like northeast Georgia, we got it for real, but it went easy on our neighborhood. Okay, northeast Georgia.
Oh, by the time I got to northern Georgia, it was a lot of rain, but I don't think they got tornadoes. They had some major flooding with a couple of isolated.
I bet you all of them know this answer. What was the hurricane that went up the East Coast a few years ago, quite a few years ago?
All the way up into Jersey and New
York. Well, it slammed into Long Island. Yeah. Really hit Long Island hard, and I can't remember the name of that hurricane. But my former wife was a Red Cross volunteer and got sent up there, and it really worked out well for everybody. I thought, what the heck is she going to do? Well, along that coastline, there are a lot of Russian immigrants, and her first language is Russian. So, Sandy, yes, Hurricane Sandy. She she was like their translator. She was up there for 3 weeks, and just the right person, the right place at the right time. It all worked out well. She always wanted to move to New York City. Because in Russia, when you make it big and do well, you move to the city. You either move to St. Petersburg, or if you really do well, you end up in Moscow. So she always wanted to move to New York City. Well, she was up there for 3 weeks. She came back, and then I was talking about going up there on vacation for something. She goes, "No, I don't ever want to go to New York City again." It's like, why not? You always wanted to move there. She goes, "No, it's better here." And we're out in the country, and because I tell her Americans don't move to the city when they make money. They live in the country, and then they drive into the city to buy whatever they need and drive back home, because the country's a pretty nice place. And in Russia, they mostly then they didn't have cars, and they didn't have good transportation outside the city. Inside the city, you had everything. You had subways and trams and buses and everything you can think of to get around. You'd go anywhere you want in a Russian city, big Russian city, without never having a car. Although the when I was there, it was shortly after the Soviet Union broke up, so it was all pretty much old Russian, Soviet communist stuff, and there was mostly old vehicles, trains built in some of the cars were built in the 60s, and some of them were older than that. And then the buses all looked like they came from the 50s, or everything was old and rattly and built heavy cast iron looking stuff that was never going to break, but it was all loose, noisy, and ancient looking. And that's just kind of how they lived, and they got around okay. I remember I've told this story, getting on a bus and smelling the road draft tube, smelling the blow-by on the engine from the bus. And it was like, ooh, I remember that smell from when I was a little kid, before they had PCV systems. Every car had a road draft tube, and that smell was like, just brought my memory back instantly. I knew what it was, Tavo says, just remembered our AFL Australian football grand final is currently in play. Bit like our version of a mini Super Bowl. Oh, okay.
We're missing the Super Bowl.
So is football there? Is football there what we call soccer, or is it something else? Because I know football is not the same thing everywhere.
Watching us instead of the Super Bowl. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You find our live good enough to miss the Super Bowl. That's a real compliment,
Bye, Tavo.
Hey, Tavo, you think you can let some of the other people there know about it? We'll have a Super Bowl join in. Man.
You got the soap over there?
I do have the soap. The other soap was in the car, and I don't know, I lost that did dump in the accident, or in the crash, and it emptied on the floor of the Mazda. So and the trunk carpet was soaking wet with that bottle of that stuff. And I know I grabbed the bottle, but I don't know. I haven't run across it since I took it out of the car.
I've seen it.
Well, it came back in the Jeep, but I don't remember where I put it. And we took everything from the Jeep up here, so it must be up here.
Oh, here it is over on the it's right here.
Oh, okay. So I just have to mix a new thing and make sure it doesn't leak. But the top was loose, and it was on its side, so the whole thing dumped in the trunk.
Hey, we've been at this for 2 hours.
We've been at it.
And the Super Bowl is on.
Oh,
and
Aussie rules.
You said you had to do some shorts.
Okay, Aussie rules, like a mix of Gaelic football and soccer, with a bit of rugby thrown in. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. It might be a different game. Rugby. Man, we sold an airplane. I helped the guy a lot and got to know him. He was a well-known rugby player in South Africa, and That was an interesting guy. He was in his 50s, and you see him there wasn't a spot of fat on that guy. He wanted one of our T-shirts from the airplane place, and he says I wear a double extra large, and I have no fat on me. And he wasn't kidding. I mean, he's like, his body's like this, and his shoulders and his waist was in like this, and I don't know where you find a double X T-shirt, because double X T-shirts are mostly made for people that are wider at the bottom, you know. So I don't know. I sent him a T-shirt. He was quite a guy. He built that airplane. He's a professional rugby player, and he built an airplane, and no, and he retired from rugby, but he what was his name? I can't think of it right now. Anybody who's curious, there are a number of videos on YouTube explaining it. Okay, Australian football. Man, look at this. You have really,
assembled the cylinder head.
the only thing is you need to pull the thermostat, I guess.
There's still more to do, but I got the valves out.
So what you're hinting at is you're pretty much done.
I'm hurting.
You're hurting? Okay. So we're going to have to do a couple shorts and then we're done.
Yeah.
So you want to do the shorts on the live, or do you want to do the shorts on the shorts?
No, I think we're going to make these guys go find something else to do.
Okay. So we're gonna say goodnight for tonight. Yeah, it's not tonight anymore. It's tomorrow. You know what? It's never tomorrow. But it's after midnight. So I guess we're going to have to say
Thank you for
goodnight.
being here, everyone. Olive, Tavo, Tim left already. Lester, if you're still here, thanks for being here. JB, if you're still here, thanks for mentioning Duel. We will have to look and see if we can find it on like Amazon or something like that. But yeah, we're signing out for the night. You know which button it is?
No, more Biff and Crash than American football, but no armor. Yeah, it's like a hockey. If you ever watch hockey, it's like, oh yeah, there was a fight in a hockey game broke out. It was a joke because there's always big old fights in a hockey game. All right.
Thanks,
Take
everyone.
care. Good night. I have
Good
to find the button. Kim, is it the stop streaming or end broadcast?